Hi, everyone. It's Pastor Dan with Uplifting Thoughts again today. Are you a follower of Jesus? Is that how you see yourself? How you live life? As a person following Jesus each and every day? Jesus is alive today. That's more than just an Easter slogan. It's a living relationship with the living Lord, where we're growing in our faith and understanding. That understanding is that Jesus calls each of us to follow him each and every day. In other words, he's actively involved in our lives and other people's lives as well. Do you believe that? I hope you're understanding that more and more each day as you interact with others. And it all begins as we learn the miracle of forgiveness. Let's not take forgiveness for granted. It's so easy to do. Each of the followers of Jesus learned they were forgiven when they met the risen Christ. No matter what someone may have done, Jesus wants the miracle of forgiveness to restore that person, the one he has made, the one he has called, him or her, whoever he has called them to be. Listen to John 21, verses 19 through 25. After Jesus tells Peter, "Follow me," in verse 20, Peter turned around to see the disciple loved by Jesus following the two of them. The same disciple who leaned back on Jesus during their Last Supper and asked, "Lord, who is going to betray you?" And Peter says in verse 21, "Lord, what will happen to this man?" Peter's pointing to John. You know, all through the Gospel of John, there's this competition, a comparison at least, between John and Peter, and jealousy seems to crop its head up, raises its head in relationships, doesn't it? Remember the story of the two running to the tomb after Mary told them the Lord had risen? And John points out he got there first. So Jesus replies in verse 22, "If I choose for him to remain till I return, what difference will that make to you? You follow me." All of us get the same forgiveness. All our sin is forgiven in Jesus, and that's what we celebrate. That's what we trust in. Our communion service reminds us. That's the good news of Jesus Christ. But Jesus goes on to say, we are to follow him, even if God's plans for us are different from others. John says in verse 23, it is from this exchange with Jesus that some thought the disciple would not die. In other words, there was a rumor going around in the early church that the writer of the Gospel of John would never die. But John points out that Jesus never said that. He said, if I choose for him to remain till I return, what difference will that make to you? Verse 24. That very same disciple is the one offering this truthful account written just for you. There are so many other things, he says, that Jesus said and did. And if the accounts were written down, the books could not be contained in the entire world. That's the way the Gospel of John ends, letting us know there's always more to learn about Jesus, even if the influence of the Christian churches today is not as strong as it has been in recent years. The message of God's love given to us by Jesus is the deepest truth and the strongest force that will bring peace to our world today. So the miracle of forgiveness is the voice of John that lives on through each of us as we share God's forgiveness with others. And the church has a responsibility to share the truth of the gospel. No one is beyond the reach of God's love. So remember that today and share God's love with others. Hey, thanks for listening. Have a great day.